Hello, all my badass women in corporate, and welcome back to another episode of the Powerhouse. And this week, I want to bring you some tips on something I just experienced, and it's how you can conquer defeat in the workplace. So I literally just recorded this amazing podcast on mute. So I go to check the footage and my fucking microphone was muted. So this comes to you obviously very much firsthand. And there's so much I want to bring to you with this one. And I'm going to do my very best to be extremely concise because there's a lot of points here that I want to get across. But the reason outside of my own experience just now that I want to talk to you about how you can conquer defeat in the workplace is because I get so many DMs from my listeners and even women that are in my executive coaching and consulting programs that really struggle with conquering defeat in the workplace. And this can look like when you get fired. Maybe this looks like you didn't get the promotion that you wanted. Maybe this looks like you're just trying to survive a toxic work environment and you couldn't. And maybe it's even an initiative that you started in your organization and it failed miserably. And I'm here to tell you today that I see you. I know how paralyzing this can feel. You have put everything out there. You've been super vulnerable and you fucked it up. And I'm here to tell you that is okay. Do not sit in this paralyzing feeling. Do not stay in victim mode. And I want to show you how you can do just that today. I want you to walk away from this episode with some strategies you can absolutely put in place and conquer this defeat and bounce back like the fucking powerhouse that you are, my friend, because you are. What you're going through right now is not permanent. I promise you will not feel like this forever. You will get through this. You always have. You've always bounced back. And I want to remind you how capable, how resilient, and how powerful you are. Okay. So the first thing is we are going to redefine defeat. I want you to embrace defeat in a totally different way. I want you to understand today how amazingly powerful defeat can be. And I want you to think about this. Really sit with me, open your mind. You've went out there, you tried something and you failed. There is absolutely nothing you can do to change that. My friend, you cannot go back and rewrite history. You have done what you've done. What has happened, and it is final. Okay. Stop trying to say, well, if only, and quit reliving it. It's over. You did it. And now you are at a point where, guess what? You have nothing to lose. I'm going to say that again for those in the back and for those of you that are distracted listening or watching this. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Think of all the times in life when you've hit what you thought was rock bottom. I mean, absolute rock bottom. You can't pull yourself out of bed. It's miserable. Your heart's broken. Your stomach's all jacked up. You can't literally function. And it's just, oh my God, my whole world's over. I don't know how I'm going to move on. And you did just that. We're going to do the exact same thing again with these strategies, but you're going to do it a hell of a lot quicker. But what you realize when you're at rock bottom is, guess what? You're no longer worried about anything because it's happened. The worst case scenario happened. It happened to you. There is nowhere to go but up. You have nothing at all to lose. So if you were super worried about being successful in the role, doesn't really matter anymore. You're fired. Right? If you truly wanted that promotion so bad and you didn't get it, doesn't really matter anymore because you didn't get the promotion. Maybe even in your personal life, if you always wanted to be that perfect husband or wife, guess what? You don't have to worry about that shit anymore because you're divorced or you're getting divorced or you're separated or you're moving on, whatever it is that you're doing. So these are very, very rare moments in life where you can do whatever you want. You can absolutely do whatever you want. There is nothing to lose. So you can pivot to a brand new industry. You can say, fuck it, and start your own business like I did. Why not? To do whatever you want to do. or you can, I don't know, embrace that hoe phase that you want to go through so badly after a breakup. You can absolutely use this moment and capitalize on it. It is extremely powerful. It is a gift, and you can see something from a totally different angles that you could never see before. Because guess what? Shit just got put into perspective, right? You put your feet on the ground and you feel like there's nothing there in the morning, and you're like, well, what am I going to make of my day? What am I going to make of my life? What am I going to make of my career? What am I going to make of my love life? No matter what it is you're going through, nothing else really matters. All those things that you thought you cared about before, you don't anymore. Now is an incredible time where you can really outline what you will and what you will not put up with, what your dream career is and what it's not, what kind of leader that you actually want to work for and the kind of leader you don't. What attributes do you absolutely non-negotiable must have in a partner that you didn't have before? You can create all of this no matter what you want. Honey, now's the time to seize that fucking moment. Absolutely put yourself in that driver's seat, because the only path out of hell is through misery. It's the only way to get through this. And you can absolutely embrace all of that. So once you realize, you know what, I am commanding my power. This defeat is a defeat, is what it is. Can't go back in time, can't rewrite history, but I can absolutely seize the day, capitalize on this moment, and realize how powerful it is, because I don't have anywhere to go but up. Now it's time that you embrace the defeat. And I'm talking radical acceptance. So if you went through this to not come back smarter and wiser and more resilient, then what the hell did you go through it for in the first place? What if that's how if you're not going to come back stronger and more powerful than ever before, then lady, go ahead and just stop listening to this or stop watching this today and stay in that rut that you're in, because defeat will teach you what you can do again. Defeat will give you so much more power, and you can embrace the defeat, radically accept it. This happened. And you can ask yourself, how the hell did I have ownership in this? Maybe you did. Maybe you had no ownership at all. Maybe this is something that just happened to you and that you are completely 100% not at fault. But most of the time, let's be real with each other. We knew this was coming. We knew we did something to get fired. We knew in that promotion process that we didn't go over in there and own our fucking space like the badass women we are. And we just showed up as these scared little girls, right? And they're like, oh, no way in hell she's confident. Or maybe it was the partner that all of a sudden, out of the blue, 20 years in, they're like, you know what? Can't do this anymore. Need a divorce. Come on. You knew along the way at some point when these hints kept getting dropped, when they kept saying, I need this. I need you to show up for me like this. And you didn't do it. What did you expect was going to happen? Right? Or all of a sudden, you know, that this partner goes out and is not faithful. There are things that happen, but if we really go back and we radically accept this defeat and we look at it objectively, which is so fucking hard. But if we look at that and say, you know, how can I avoid this in the future? What is this going to teach me? How is this going to make me a better fucking person? Then that is absolutely how you embrace it. And you can learn from it because that's who you are. Okay. Next step is you are going to reclaim that confidence and reclaim that courage, because I know exactly how you're feeling. You just went through hell and now you're like, oh my God, I have to go out here and do this shit again. I have to go out here and be vulnerable again. I have to sit through yet 10 more rounds of interviews with boards and executives and putting myself over and over and telling them over and over again, yes, I can do this job. Yes, I'll be amazing at this job. And you just want to say, just fucking pick me already. Can you please, can we just move on? But you know, that's not how it works. But you have to put yourself out there again. And I know how terrifying that is, because as humans, we want to avoid sadness. We want to avoid defeat. Of course you do. No one likes to feel this way. but you have to go out there and you cannot shy away from it. I cannot tell you how many clients that I have that go through something like this and their first reaction is, no, you know what? I went after, the chief operating officer role. Maybe they didn't pick me, so maybe I'm not ready. So I'm going to go for an executive vice president or vice president. And I scream, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Just because you tried something once and you failed doesn't mean you should never try it again, or that you're not ready, or that you weren't competent, or that you're not powerful. I want you to do the opposite, because defeat is proof that you can survive whatever happens next. Maybe you're truly not ready for that role. But come on, like one example, one experience is not enough evidence, body of proof to prove that you're not ready. So don't sell yourself short. You need to do something, let's be really modest, at least 7 times before you're like, maybe it is me. Maybe I'm not ready for it. Then I'll give it to you, right? But at least more than once, okay? Maybe not all the way to 7, like I'm telling you to, but come on, ladies, more than once, because you are so much more resilient than you think. You're so much more powerful than you realize right now. And if you sit in this pain as a victim, if you play small, if something happened to you, you're just going to suffer. You're going to continue to suffer so much more than what you're going to suffer when you go out and try it again. And if you get knocked down again, it's not going to hurt as much as playing it small, because you're not listening to this today if you're a woman that wants to play small. You're not listening to this podcast today because you're like, I'm happy with status quo. That's not who the fuck you are. And you know that. So put yourself out there and do whatever you need to do to reclaim that confidence. Next step is I want you to reframe what it means when it comes to living in a high. So what I mean by this is so many women that I interact with, and something I personally struggle with myself a whole lot, is throughout my whole entire life, I always wanted the highest of highs. And I don't mean us partying back when we were younger. What I mean is every single thing I did, I wanted to fucking kill it. I mean, no matter what promotion it was starting my own business, planning a vacation, going to a party, no matter what it was, I wanted to absolutely kill it and feel all the feels and just dominate. And while that makes us super powerful, and that is literally stitched into some of our DNA, call it childhood trauma, call it whatever we want, it is here and it's not going anywhere. But what I notice is so many of us try to chase that high. And anytime that we can't get to that level of success, anytime we can't just, absolutely blow it up to the moon and back, the crash from not getting to that high is so low. Oh my gosh, it's like so crippling, like borderline depression, or maybe you are someone that you fall into depression if you can't obtain that. And what that is called is living in an emotional mind that's super high. And then the polar opposite of that is living in a reasonable mind where it's all about logic. It's all about what is the exact ROI? What is the absolute outcomes that I'm going to get if I do X, Y, Z? And if that's not 100% certain, I'm just not going to do it. You can't live in both worlds all the time. Where you need to find your energy is what is called a wise mind. And that is when you still have the highs, right? You still have the logic. So we still have emotion, we still have reason, but in the middle is wise mind. And that's where you can truly thrive. And this is something that I battle every single day, because for so many years, I thought wise mind was like mediocre. That's basic bitch stuff. That's not who I am. I'm out here killing it. And what I really realized over time is that because I knew if I continued to chase, absolutely dominating everything that I touched, I was going to end up miserable. Not only miserable, probably alone, very unhealthy, and just absolutely in a state of anguish all the time, just to get these little peaks, these little jumps of the high, right? Start chasing the middle of the road. And well, I don't mean mediocre. I don't mean good enough. You can still feel those highs, but the lows are not as low. And what that means is when you go into your stepping into your courage, you're reframing all of this and you go into the next interview and you don't absolutely crush it. Don't walk out of there and beat yourself up and verbally abuse yourself all the way home. You cannot physically crush every single thing that you touch. It is not going to be to your level of what you think absolutely crushing it is. But I will guarantee you, if you are listening to this, if you resonate with the power brand whatsoever, you've been following us through on LinkedIn, on TikTok, wherever it is that you found us, that you got to this podcast, you know that so many of us really, really struggle with something like this. We truly want to absolutely kill everything. And what our level of success is way light years beyond most everyone you interact with at work or at home. Everyone else is looking at you and like, holy hell, that bitch is killing it. And you're like, nah. If you don't believe me, think about the last time you got a compliment. How many of you are like, why are they complimenting me on this average shit? Like, they haven't even seen what I can really do. My friend, this is a very, very dangerous form of negative self-talk, and you need to make yourself aware of it. So reframe having to live in the high, and let's live in something that's a little more sustainable, because I promise you, you're going to get a lot more joy in that place than you are chasing that high the rest of your life. The next thing I want you to do is really use this time of defeat and embrace that this is a window of opportunity. And what I mean by that, earlier we talked about, well, if you don't have anywhere to go but up, why not capitalize on this moment and do something insane? Do something that you always were too conservative or too scared or the stars didn't align, so you didn't do. Just go fucking do it. Maybe you always wanted a full sleeve tattoo. Go get a tattoo. Maybe you always wanted to get a pilot's license and fly a plane. Go sign up for airline pilot's license tomorrow. Maybe you always wanted to travel to Southeast Asia and you've never made the time to do it. Book your ticket today. You must absolutely capitalize on this opportunity and use this time as this beautiful gift that it is and live for you, because the chances are, if this is a professional defeat that you're going through, you are a powerful woman. You know you're going to get an amazing offer in no time. So use these few precious weeks or few precious months that you have and live your life to the fullest. Go eat, pray, love, go do whatever it is that you wanted to do and do something for yourself. Another strategy is you need to consider there are alternative possibilities. So I speak to so many women, and even with myself, whenever I thought about, oh my God, can I go out here and start my own business? Can I be the CEO of my own company? And you really get lost in this fear of failing, fear of more defeat. And I want to challenge you that if you really put your mind to anything that you wanted to do today, let's say you've been in one industry, one role for over 20 years, and you're like, I've always been in marketing, but I really think I would enjoy operations. Do it. Make that leap. As you have learned so many skills in your life, you are scrappy. If you didn't know something, you fucking Googled it. You asked Siri, you figured it out. You threw a dart, it didn't stick. You threw another. Oh, imagine that. It worked. Now is the time after a defeat to consider every possibility there is. Maybe you want to move to the Bahamas and open up your own bar. Do it, right? Maybe you want to completely walk away from corporate altogether. Maybe the opposite's true. Maybe you want to completely pivot again from one function to another within a business. Maybe you want to go from for-profit and you have zero nonprofit experience. Just do it. So many people believe like, oh, well, I'm not going to be marketable in that. I've always been in software. I've always been in tech. I've always been in engineering. Why is this other industry going to see me appealing at all? And I'm here to tell you, ladies, you're super fucking appealing to these organizations. There is nothing like bringing in fresh eyes, brand new talent that know nothing about your business. And they can come in and be like, boom, 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 boom. All this is wrong. Oh, I loved hiring in these people to my team. I would constantly do that so they could show me in my organizations where I was an executive, where I was in the same shoes as you, I purposely hired those people. I didn't want people that had drank the Kool-Aid for the last 20 years in the same industry and do the same shit over and over and over, because that's not how I became innovative. That's not how I created new strategy. That's not how I was able to build amazing policies and build workplaces that people truly thrived in, because I didn't want to hire people just like me, right? So get your mind out of this place where, well, this is what I've done for 20 years, you know, in my 40s now, in my 50s, might as well keep going down this path. Absolutely not. I don't care if you literally have only 2 more years you want to be in the workforce and there's something you always wanted to try it now. This is the perfect time to seize that. And my last strategy for helping you conquering defeat is support, my friends. And I cannot say this enough. And I know we've all heard it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, but as powerful, badass women, we are notorious for not opening up, not asking people when we need help. And I'm here to tell you, so that same high that you chase when you get from helping others, you know, that friend that calls and her husband's being a dick, or you know that you get that call from a coworker at work and they're like, oh my gosh, I cannot figure out this project. I need your help. And you're like, ooh, yeah, that's me. I'm your girl. I'm the one that's going to help you with that. And it's so rewarding to give back. Hell, I run a business right now. This is what I do all day long, is help people through things that they're going through, help women build amazing careers and overcome imposter syndrome, overcome burnout, actually build amazing career strategies where they can dominate. So I get you, but you have to balance that scale. And all of these people that you've been helping for years that are around you, this inner circle of very powerful women, you are doing them a huge disservice if you don't open your mouth and tell them that you need them. There is nothing wrong with letting that trusted inner circle see the raw, see the messy, because lady, you don't have to do this alone. You never did. You just believed that you did. Society told you that you did. You painted this facade of yourself that you always have to be so stoic. You always have to be so fucking perfect. And guess what? It just ended you in misery. So open up to these people and let them feel that high. Don't you want your best friend to be like, oh, I really helped her today. Oh my gosh, the joy you're going to bring and how that passion she can feel by helping you. Okay. Just open up. We all know you're not perfect. It's okay. None of us are. Keep these people together. All right. So ladies, take these strategies that you have learned today, put these into practice right away. And I want you to stare defeat right in the face, whatever that situation that you went through, you're getting ready to go through, or you're still grieving from. I want you to look straight at it, give it a name, do whatever it is you got to do. And I want you to say, bitch, is that all you got? Because that's how powerful you are. Because my friend, I promise you, you are unbreakable, you are unshakable, and you are unfuckable.